morning, everyone. So it is day one of the TBR Takedown Readathon, and I've decided to do a vlog style, shake it up, do something a little different. And so the first book that I started last night, let me turn it so you can see it, Pandemonium by Lauren Oliver. I read the first 21 pages and just made a little dent in it before going to bed. And now I'm eating breakfast. There's OJ in here, not coffee. And I'm going to continue reading Pandemonium. I have to work today from 12 to 9:30, so not sure how much I'll be able to do, but I can definitely read beforehand, a little bit after, so we'll see how far I'm able to get in Pandemonium.
Okay, so this is what I look like after working 9.5 hours. I managed to read about 80 more pages before I went to work in Pandemonium, and read a little bit at work too, so I'm currently sitting at page 154. The plan is to read definitely a bit more tonight. I'm not gonna finish it or anything. I still have a lot left, but give it a good go, and maybe I'll finish it tomorrow. I don't know, we'll see. It's currently almost 10 p.m., so we'll see how the night progresses. Probably gonna pick up an alcoholic beverage, put my feet up, and read. Day one has come to a close, and I feel like I need to address 2 points. The first is that I think this is the first time I have ever worn my glasses in a video, so hey, I wear glasses sometimes. And 2, I've decided to vlog this readathon. I've never done this before, but I figured I'll give it a shot, and if I am happy with the footage that comes out of it, I'll put together a wrap-up video. In order to wrap up today, I read another 60-something pages in Pandemonium. I'm now on page 215, so that means as of today I have read 215 pages in this book. I'm a little bit more than halfway through, so I think at this point I could probably finish it tomorrow. Hopefully everyone else is having a pretty successful day. I haven't really been active on Twitter because I've been at work and being lazy and stuff like that, but I did enjoy that alcoholic beverage, and I got some reading done, so I'm pretty satisfied. See you guys tomorrow.
It's the morning of day 2 of the readathon, and things are going pretty well. I'm reading Pandemonium right now while I eat my breakfast, and my goal today is to finish Pandemonium. I have to work from 4:30 to 11, so it's not too bad, not nearly as much as yesterday. And I only have to run one errand, and that's to go to the grocery store, so I feel like I'm going to have a lot of time to read. I haven't mentioned this yet, but I'm actually really enjoying the book. It's too bad it's taken me this long to read, but I'm glad I'm at least getting to it now.
It's just after 2 p.m. on Sunday, and I finished Pandemonium. Yay! I actually really enjoyed it. It had been a long time since I read Delirium, and so I wasn't sure how much of the plot I was going to remember. I actually read a synopsis of Delirium before I picked up Pandemonium, and I was kind of like, okay, yeah, I remember this. And this book was actually really awesome. It was action-packed, kept my interest, and the ending was actually pretty killer, so I'm excited to pick up Requiem. I don't own it, but it's actually worth buying now because I finally read this one. By finishing this, I have actually already completed 2 challenges for the readathon. The first one is to read a sequel, and the second one is to read a book that's been on your shelf the longest. This one's been on there for quite some time, so it feels good to get those out of the way. I've got a bit of time before work. I'm not sure what book I'll pick up next, but I might just take a bit of a break and go on the internet for a bit, something like that, and then maybe pick up something before I go to bed tonight.
Hello again, everyone. So it is about 11:30 at night on Sunday. I just got back from work. I did not read between finishing Pandemonium and going to work. I relaxed and took a little bit of a break, which is always good to do during readathons. And I've decided that the next book I'll read is Around the Rock in a Bad Mood by Bernie Howgate. This is my read a book that challenges you, scares you, because I have no idea what to expect with this book. I probably won't read too much before I go to bed, but I'll give it a shot and hopefully I'll like it and continue on with it.
Good morning. It's day 3 of the readathon. I am once again eating breakfast on my little balcony, and my plan today is to not only read a bit of Around the Rock in a Bad Mood. Look, in the sunlight now. I did not read too much before I went to bed, about 10 pages, but I plan to read a bit more today. I do have to work from 3:30 to 11, so I have most of my morning free to read. And my other goal was not on my original video, my original TBR video. I've been reading Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, rereading it for a very long time, and I have less than 100 pages left, so I'm thinking at this point that I should just finish it. So maybe I'll do that today, so I'll hopefully finish Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, and then put a good dent in this one before I go to work later.
Alright, so I'm headed off to work soon, which means it's time to update you on how my day's been going. So I said I was going to probably finish Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, and I did indeed finish it. I read the last 90 pages and finished this one off, not originally on my TBR, but there was so few pages left when you consider how long the book is that it was totally worth it to just finish it off. Especially because now I'll feel really good coming back from vacation and getting to start Order of the Phoenix. And then I also said I would continue my journey through Around the Rock in a Bad Mood, and I did do so. I'm like a couple pages away from page 40. I haven't been reading this one super quickly, took a bit of a break after finishing Goblet of Fire, like caught up on emails and stuff like that. So this one isn't so much a book that you power through. It's very descriptive because it's, describing the coast and the people and experiences in Newfoundland. So not perfect TBR reading material, but it's not very long, so I already feel like I've made a pretty good dent in it. Since I don't get out of work until 11 o'clock tonight, once again, I probably won't be doing too much reading before bed, but I'll let you guys know. Once again, back from work after 11 p.m., so not a lot happened at work. I didn't really read anything on my break. I'm honestly feeling kind of exhausted, tired right now, so I think I'll maybe read a couple pages in this book before going to bed. I have to work tomorrow from 10 to 3:30, so I won't have a lot of time to read in the morning, but I'll have a bit more time to read in the afternoon, which will be a nice change of pace. Hey friends, so it's now Tuesday, so 4th day of the readathon. I just got back from work, so it's like mid-afternoon. I think at this point that I'm just gonna stop reading Around the Rock in a Bad Mood because it's really not a readathon kind of book. I figured that out. It's just too much description. It doesn't have like that fast-paced feel that you often need to get through a book, so I've decided to set that one aside for now. And instead, I'm gonna pick up Perfect Chemistry by Simone Elklas. It's another like YA romance book, and those seem to be really good for powering through during readathons, considering that's kind of what Pandemonium was, and I read that in no time at all. I'm gonna eat some lunch, read a bit, probably pack, read a bit more. Only a couple more days until I leave for Osheaga, so that's exciting. But in the meantime, I gotta get cracking on reading.
Hey guys, so it's late on Tuesday night. I did read a bit of Perfect Chemistry. I'm on page 70 currently, and I do have plans to read a bit more before actually going to sleep. I wasn't quite as productive as I wanted to be with reading today. I kind of got distracted with packing and stuff like that, and I just was kind of not feeling the urge to pick up the book, but at the same time, I'm trying to push myself to read. Tomorrow, I am working 3:30 to 11, so I'm going to be doing some more packing and reading in the morning before going off to work. Hopefully, I'll be able to get a better dent going in Perfect Chemistry. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Good morning. So it is Wednesday, the 5th day of the readathon. Jeez. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, yeah, it's the 5th day of the readathon, and I'm doing all right. I ended up reading 105 pages in Perfect Chemistry yesterday, and right before I was planning to go to bed, I read a bit more, and I actually got to a pretty interesting part, so I was like, need to keep reading, and then finally was like, okay, gotta go to bed now so I can get up at a reasonable time. But it was kind of nice. Like, the book was actually picking up and I was starting to get into it, and I want to see how the characters are going to deal with some of these situations. And so I'll definitely be reading a bit more of that today. I won't finish it, but I plan on making a pretty good dent in it. As I mentioned yesterday, I do have to work this evening, so kind of, kills a lot of the reading time that I would potentially have. And then tomorrow is like work and then leaving for Montreal. So this is like the last real day of reading for me. It hasn't been a stellar readathon for me, but I knew it wasn't going to be a stellar readathon. But at least I've been able to finish some stuff and pick up things that I wouldn't have necessarily picked up for a long time. So now time for some breakfast and some reading.
So it's a little after 2 now on Wednesday, and I've been reading a fair amount of Perfect Chemistry. I'm now on page 217, and I read like 110 pages already today, and I'm going to bring the book to work with me so I can read a bit during my break, and I might read a little bit when I get home. I mean, I'm getting there. I'm enjoying certain aspects of it. I want to see where the story is going but there are a lot of characters that are just very stereotypical high school characters, and there's not a lot of development past the two main characters, Alex and Brittany, so it's pretty typical YA at this point, but it is still the kind of story that you can speed through during a readathon, so it was worth picking up.
Hey guys, so final update of the evening. It's heading towards midnight right now, and I did read a bit more of Perfect Chemistry during work, so I'm ending the day on page 235, which means I read like 130 pages today, which is pretty sweet. This kind of marks the final day of me really having a chance to read. I work 10 to 3 tomorrow, and then as soon as I'm done work, I come home and we basically gather everything up and drive to Montreal for the Osheaga Music Festival since it starts on Friday. I might be able to read a little bit tomorrow. I can't read in the car. I would have gotten so much more reading done in my life if I had been able to read in the car, but I'll kind of keep Perfect Chemistry around and maybe I'll finish it before the end of the readathon. We shall see. I hope everyone else is doing well, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Hey friends, so as you might be able to discern, I am home visiting my family now, and I did not read any more during TBR Takedown, so the last day that I actually read anything was Wednesday, and therefore my total page count for those 5 days, I guess, was 736 pages. I finished Goblet of Fire, didn't start it during the readathon, but hey, I finished it. I started and finished Pandemonium. I read 36 pages in Around the Rock in a Bad Mood, and then I read 235 pages in Perfect Chemistry. So yeah, that brings my total page count to 736. I had a good time. I knew I wasn't going to get a lot done, a lot read during that time, but I definitely enjoyed it. Readathons are always fun, so it was great to be able to participate, and I hope everybody had just as much fun. Feel free to tell me how you did in the comments below. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you later.